Welcome back to another slice of Germany. Because for 20 points in autumn of Series 32, you can go ahead and grab yourself the Audi TT RS. How that's different from the other three in the game, I have no idea. This thing has 394 brake horsepower, 354 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs a whopping 3,306 pounds with a 2.5 litre engine. So when compared to all the other Audis in the game, it looks pretty much almost identical to everything else we have in the game already, apart from the fact it does have a pretty cool looking little wing at the back, and I think that, yeah, there's even a bit on there that says Quattro as well, which is pretty cool. Going to the inside, once again, it looks like the other Audi Quattros that we have, or the Audi TT RS, TT Coupe, TT whatever it is. We've got so many different types in this game already, and now we've got one more. But on the inside, it doesn't look too bad at all, and now let's go ahead and take a listen to that 2.5 litre. So here we are now in the upgrade shop. The first thing we are doing is going to conversion and then over to engine swaps to see what we've got. We've got ourselves a 1.6 litre inline 4 turbo rally and also a racing 3 litre inline 6 turbo, also known as the modified 2JZ. If you want to, we can also go ahead and make this thing rear wheel drive, which we might or might not do. I'm not quite too sure, because this thing being all wheel drive from stock is actually very handy indeed. In terms of aero and appearance, let's go ahead and see what we've got. We've got Forza front aero, which is, well, it's Forza front aero, there's not really much that I can say about that. Going to the back, we have the Forza rear wing, or we can just lose the back wing entirely. Going to the back bumper, we've got an option to go ahead and add a tiny little tag on here, which apparently increases the speed. And then for the front, we have the option to add in some cool looking hood pins as well. It's nice to see a little bit of customization coming to these brand new cars, but it's not exactly fantastic, at least compared to last week. In terms of tyres, we start out on Sport, and we can upgrade all the way up to Semi-Slick, which is pretty cool if you ask me. And one other thing I like about this car is how it sounds with the idle from stock, because the stock idle does sound pretty cool. Take a listen. There we go, isn't that nice? But with the race exhaust, how does it sound? Again, not too bad. So, as the tune over there says, you should definitely go ahead and subscribe. We're trying our best to get to 1,100 before the end of the year. But we've got a tune made by our friend Big Macintosh 762. And let's go ahead and haul up the share code real quick. There it is. Feel free to go ahead and use that. And that is going to be our race tune for A800. So, we're going to go ahead and actually download and install it right now. So as for stats, we were a little bit lighter at 3,268 pounds. We still have the same 394 stock horsepower, but the lateral Gs has gone up from 1.6 to 1.7, and it only cost us 24,000 credits. You'd have thought for a game from 2021 the loading speeds would be quick, but nope, we're still sat here. It's been about 2 minutes, it's still saving. So going over to designs and paints, there is nothing in advance like normal. For manufacturer colours, we've got ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I tell you now, you definitely can't miss it in this green, because that is a very bright green, and actually what we're going to go with. Oh, to be fair, saying that, now can I call this car environmentally friendly, because it's technically gone green? Now, although we do have a race tune from Mac, we also have a drag tune as well, which will be coming up in a little bit. But honestly, he sent me a video of the launch, and it does look pretty cool indeed. So definitely stay tuned for that. In the meantime, for the Audi TT RS, there are, like I said earlier, several versions. I think 4 in total now, because, well, why not? We're currently trying to rival how many Mustangs are in Horizon 5. But as for this one, it does look pretty interesting. I've not had a chance to see one of these in person yet, but hopefully I might get a chance to eventually, because not only does it look good and sound cool, but I'm hoping it drives just as good. Because if it doesn't, then that might be a problem. And away we go. We're up against a whole host of other various modern sports cars, because that is what class this thing fits into. And we've also got ourselves a Lotus behind us for some reason, armed to the wheels with absolutely everything. And the first turn we've taken ourselves into 9th, and we might have pummeled the car on the wall. So overall, decent first start. No, there's quite a fair few of these things. I'm not sure of the exact amount. Did that thing just spit flames? Yes, it did. But I can tell you this thing has a rough starting price of around the 68,500 US dollar mark. Now, once again, I'm not sure what that is in US or in pounds sterling, I should say. But hopefully that should be up on the screen roughly around now, if I remember to edit it in. But I am also using a pretty new recording setup this time around. We're not going to talk about that. So if anything does seem a little different, go ahead and let me know in the comments whether it's for the good, for the better, for the worse, or whether I should have just stuck to what I was doing before. Honda, can you give me some room, please? Thank you. Right, past the Lotus we go. We're actually doing pretty well at the moment, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Going down to the twistiest section of track now. We've still got 2 more places to make it up, so hopefully we might actually be able to do that. But then again, this thing is, well, it's got a decent amount of power, it's tuned well, it's got some grip, but it is also very, very heavy, which I think does let this thing down quite a fair bit. But hey, that's Audi's problem, not mine. And also, come on, out of the way. There we go. We're now past the Supra, which is honestly pretty well and good. We've got ourselves up into first by some absolute sheer miracle. It did take us till pretty much the end of the race to get that far, which is, well, concerning to say the least. But let's go ahead and get ourselves across the line. There we go, very nice. With a brilliant first place, a nice little water splash, and a time of 2 minutes 50. So here we're now over back in the upgrade shop once again, and we're making this thing a little bit of a drag build, but we are going to be using the Racing 3 litre. We might be using rear wheel drive, I'm not too sure on that, because like I say, the tune we're using is actually built by our good old friend Big Macintosh, so we'll go ahead actually and abandon that setup, go straight back over to find Stoney setups, force it to load a little because it loves to take its time, and apparently this one is called, it's called Hee. Oh no, and it's rear wheel drive. Alright, once again, let's go ahead and load up the share code. There it is. Feel free to go ahead and download that for yourself. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So let's go ahead, save ourselves some content, go and install everything, and then we'll take a look at the stats. Because I've heard they're apparently quite interesting. So that stats loaded, we're now at £2,779 with 1,270 brake horsepower, nearly at the top of S1, and that cost us 105,850 credits. That means my Horizon wallet is about to be a little bit lighter after this video. Okay, here we are now over at the back of the festival site once again. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of a wheelie check. Do we get anything? Kind of, but I was told there was a way I could get this thing to wheelie. So let's go and, oh, yep, that works, that works, that works. Speed cameras. Yes, we're going to be looking for some speed cameras in a minute. Let's go ahead and get ourselves ready, and away we go. Not so much of a, oh, dear me. Don't mind me just lining up for a take 2. Okay, now we're lined up. Away we go. I've got to be very careful on this thing, I was told, at least to try and get out of first gear. And now we've got to go ahead and just absolutely floor it. I'm hoping for probably about 200 miles an hour. In fact, there is 200 miles an hour. 213 through the camera, and off the end of the drag strip at 242. That is ridiculous. And again, following tradition, still no brakes. Alrighty, here we are now back over at the upgrade shop. We're once again going with our good old friend, the Racing 2JZ. I'm leaving this thing all-wheel drive this time because we're going to make this thing into a little bit of a top speed build. So I'm going to go ahead and slap on some semi-slicks like normal. We're going to go ahead and get them a lot wider at the front and quite wide at the back as well. And then I'm going to finish up building this entire thing. So give me about, I don't know, like 2 seconds of editing time, and I'll be right back. There we go. We have now got ourselves £2,807 with, again, the same 1,270 brake horsepower, and we're now halfway through S2, so this should be very, very interesting. And it is about to get more interesting because actually, oh no, wait, hang on. Are these some usable gear ratios I see here? I think they might be. I might not actually have to tune anything for once, apart from the differential, because of course there's always something that I still have to tune. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and change the center of balance at the back, save that, and then we're going to go out and find this thing's top speed. But of course, before we do that, here is this week's Forzathon shop. We've got ourselves the Bugatti Chiron, or Chiron, there's apparently 2 different ways to say it, I've learned. There's the Apex Predator's cap, we have got the Grit Reaper's helmet, we've got the number 24 tank pool racing truck, we've got the Horizon Super Wheelspin, and also the regular Horizon Wheelspin as well. And now, out to the motorway. Or if you're from outside the UK, highway. Or maybe interstate. I don't know. I wonder which one's more famous. Either way, we're now over at the edge on the motorway, so I'll go ahead and get ourselves onto some launch control, and away we go! There we go. The launch control was a little bit anticlimactic, I'm not going to lie. Let's go ahead and see what we get with the Audi. Hopefully it's going to be something good, because those gears actually look fairly decent. Although, to be fair, saying that, we're not even to the edge of the speed zone yet, and we're currently up into 6th and well over 200. Next question, can we make the turn? I really hope we can. There we go. Actually made it with ease, 266.79 miles an hour. This thing is honestly stupidly quick. But now we've got the downhill and speed camera still to go, so hopefully we might actually still get this thing to be even quicker. If we do, to be honest, it might be a bit of a miracle, but who knows? Through the camera, 271.51, which is pretty good. Going downhill, 274, 275. That thing is ridiculous. 275 out of this. It looks like a green jelly bean. I would say it probably tastes like one, but don't go eating metal. Ah, joy, it started raining, making me feel right at home. Right, let's go ahead and take this thing into the edge of our drift zone and find out what this thing can do. I'm hoping, because it had a pretty decent top speed and pretty much everything else, that we're going to get a pretty good score out of this thing. We've got ourselves 37,773, and it just wanted to keep on going. And trouble is, it kind of ran out of road. But now we're going to go ahead and give it some more road, because we are going on round number 2, and we're now going back the other way, 37,700 to beat. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. We are very, very sideways, just bouncing off a couple things, and 39,500 and something out the other side, which is honestly even better than we did the first time. We're just going to ignore the fact I took out like half the bridge though. So long story short, this thing is an absolute menace to society and probably everybody in it, and it is definitely well worth picking up. It'll take you roughly around half an hour, that's depending that you've got the trial, because if not, then it might take a little longer, but with the trial and a couple of seasonals, it'll take you roughly about, oh, I've sent it to space. But thank you very much for watching. I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Seg out. See ya. That's the 4th Audi, can't wait for the 5th one.